In 2005, I found myself in prison for a nonviolent crime, and at the time I was pregnant. I had come from a dysfunctional family, born into a poverty and stricken environment, and I gave birth to my daughter chained to a bed, and 24 hours later, she was taken from me. Luckily for me, she was released to my mother, and 18 months later, I came home. After those 18 months had passed, during that time, my mother and grandmother had both passed away. So I was literally released from prison with a $25 check and a bus ticket, and I had 4 children in total at home waiting on me. So I get out of prison and I have absolutely nowhere to go. At the time, I was a convicted felon, so I couldn't get any housing assistance. Nobody wanted to give me a job because I was considered to be a liability. So we went to the nearest shelter that we can find. The problem was that the max out date at the shelter was 45 days. So within 45 days, I did not have enough time to find me somewhere to stay, to find a job, or even get any type of assistance from the government during that time period. And it was very, very hard for me to transition back into society and to not only get myself together, but to also fight for my children so that they would have a chance to be successful as well. Today, after all of that, I have been given a full and unconditional pardon from President Donald Trump. I ran for office, and after being on the side of pro-life for so long, I realized when they overturned Roe v. Wade that there was need to do much more than talking. You hear people talk all the time about the need to have babies, but I understood how mothers felt without having any help. I understood that moment of desperation, feeling like not only did you want to give up, but you wanted to give up on your kids too because you didn't have the help or the assistance that you needed. And I always imagined what life had been like for me if I would have been able to come home to a place like Auntie Angie's and have the support that I need to help me and my children transition back into society. And because of my own personal experience, this is why we started Auntie Angie's House. And I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity that we're going to be able to give so many women and their children to better themselves.
I know opportunities of refuge are very, very important in the lives of traumatized people. When I was a state legislator, and that was many years ago in the 70s and 80s, I was state representative, Alveda King. My name was Alveda King Beal at the time. And I would introduce legislation for domestic violence and for child care and for pregnant mothers to know that alcohol was harmful to their bodies. There were so many things that I was interested in during those times, and I'm still interested in today. So women today are in trouble, traumatized, sometimes alone and hopeless, like Angela was. And so homes, a long time ago when I was young, we called them maternity homes. But now they're pregnancy care homes or family enrichment centers. There will be no dads in residence at Auntie Angie's house, but there will be men to mentor fathers. That's going to be very important. And so helping the women actually, some will live here, some will call, and there'll be day residents that come in and out for support and help. And this will help the little children. I expect all of them to grow up with beautiful, productive lives. And so as an auntie to Auntie Angie's house, I guess I'm Auntie Gigi, because my grandchildren call me Gorgeous Grandma. I have a good time helping with the children. I'll help certainly in the media room or the library area, certainly in the kitchen. However, I think that holistically, when you have homes and places of refuge for distressed people, it always makes a community better. In this instance, this is for women who are pregnant or with very, very young children. But we're going to go beyond that into their whole orbit. I begin to talk about Alveda King's multiverse. And so in my own orbit, in my own multiverse, Auntie Angie's house is so important.
I came to her for help for my daughter on the behalf. I didn't have no one to help me at times. I didn't have a baby father to help me. And I had went through a friend and found sources through her and came into her program. She helped me with my therapy. She helped me with trying to get on my feet and move on and do better things for myself to help myself and me and my daughter. to live a wealthy life and have good credibility, good jobs. She giving us good opportunities of life just to keep going.
I really feel like it is important for women because me, just growing up, I just know that my backstory and my testimony of me and my first child when I got pregnant with her, it was hard then, like when I told my parents that I was pregnant, you have parents that will accept it and some parents that will try to kick you out. So if you have those girls that have a parent that's kicking them out, where are they going to go? That's the question. That's the main question. Where are they going to go? So I just feel like this is the best opportunity for them because they have the opportunity to not only just proceed with their pregnancy and not think about abortions, but they have the opportunity to think about after they have the baby and what will they do after they have the baby.
One of the main necessities to get into Auntie Angie's house is that you're pregnant, because we're all about servicing pregnant women, but we also service pregnant women with their children. So let's just say, for instance, that there is a pregnant woman that needs resources but doesn't necessarily need housing. She can also still come through Auntie Angie's house to get some of the resources that she needs, whether it's assistance, whether it is Pampers, whether it's milk, clothing, supplies for the baby, whether it's job placement, job training, entrepreneurship training, if they need mental health services. That's pretty big these days. We see with mothers who are stressed out and just trying to figure out what they need to do next. We need to make sure that we're taking care of our mental health. So one of the things that I've learned being in the pro-life sector for so many years is that pregnancy resource centers, they aren't really new. They've been around for quite some time. But the issue is that we haven't had any pregnancy resource centers in low-income communities. And all I've said is, are we really giving them a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only option? So we just want to make sure that Auntie Angie's house is another option for whatever decision they make. We want to support women and babies.